Lamar Jackson inks his brand new deal. Lamar Jackson, 5-year deal with the Baltimore Ravens, inks a new deal. And we are going to be talking about Lamar Jackson right here for the next, hour, heading into the 2023 live NFL draft coverage. 6 hours straight of NFL draft coverage. And this drops right before we're going to talk about Lamar Jackson's new fat 5-year contract. The numbers are still coming out. Your boy Smitty's live here before the numbers are even out. But it's a 5-year deal. Lamar Jackson is back with the Baltimore Ravens right before the NFL draft. It sounds like it's going to be somewhere between 170 to 200 million guaranteed. We'll find out. Those numbers are coming in right now. Your boy Smitty's making sure we get those confirmed. Big fat deal on the way. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
Yes. We have breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Lamar Jackson is going to be a Baltimore Raven for the foreseeable future for the next 5 years, according to reports, and we're here for it. We're here right before the NFL draft. We're talking NFL draft on top of everything else as we stroll closer and closer to that 6-hour live stream where your boy is going to be live. That didn't work out. Hold on. What's going on here? What's my system doing? Let's try this one more time. Your boy Smitty will be live for 6 hours coming up here. All right, we're keeping tabs on this contract. Okay, I'm going to give you the exact details here momentarily. I just want to make sure I got the correct numbers from the people themselves, and the numbers is 5 years. Lamar Jackson, 5 years, Baltimore Ravens. Money's coming up soon. Hang tight. Marty, what's up? Hob G's, what's going on? What's up, everybody? What's up, DJ? First in the building today. D-Class, second in the building. JKL, third in the building. Positive Noah, and so on. So appreciate everybody being here. We've got 135 of you in the room. Please punch that thumb up button on your way in the door. Only 28 thumbs up. Those are rookie numbers. It all kind of started with a couple tweets like this here. We've agreed in principle on a 5-year contract extension with Lamar Jackson. Boom, that hits. Lamar put a little video out. Lamar said, hey, official, 5-year deal. He says the next 5 years there's going to be a whole lot of Ravens going on. You know, he's talking about that. So that's how we got word that it's a 5-year deal. So we're waiting on the numbers. What's it mean? It means, unfortunately, first of all, let me give Lamar one more standing ovation for getting his bag. Congratulations, young man. Very, very, very excited for Lamar Jackson that he got paid. He got his fat contract. Congratulations. But it depends on what happens with this 22 overall pick. If the Ravens draft a wide receiver at 22 overall, I'm going to be open-minded to Lamar Jackson's 2023 and beyond. I will. I'm telling you right now. I'm here committed for it. Open-minded Smitty is going to be sitting here at 22 overall going, open-minded Smitty. Hello, everyone. My name is Smitty. I'm open-minded at 22 overall. If Zay Flowers, Quentin Johnston, one of those big-name wide receivers, maybe even Hyatt, lands at 22 overall, I'm a little open-minded about what, though? About Lamar being number 6 or 7? Yeah. Top 5? No. Goes to Atlanta? Yeah. Lamar's top 5. Goes to a location like that, top 5 quarterback, top 5 to 6 quarterback. Like right there. Fields is number 5 for sure, but I'm just saying he's got top 5 potential allure somewhere like Atlanta. in Baltimore with Odell Beckham Jr. as his number one wide receiver, and they don't take an elite wide receiver here at 22, I'm not that on board. I think I'm open-minded to a 7 or 8 quarterback finish, maybe a 6 or 8 quarterback finish. But he is busted in Baltimore for 3 straight years, 3 of them. And I don't see a difference or a change going on, and Odell Beckham Jr. doesn't do it for me. So it all depends on this wide receiver or non-wide receiver going at 22 overall. So hang tight on that. Hang tight. Lamar Jackson inks new deal with the Baltimore Ravens. Phone lines are open.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Lamar Jackson is coming from Shefty right this very second. We're talking about 2 seconds ago. Now 5 seconds ago. Now 8 seconds ago. Brand new, hot off the press. Let me drag it on screen. I have not even read it yet. It's brand spanking new. It says Lamar Jackson's 5-year deal makes him the NFL's highest paid player right now over Jalen Hurts, who got 5-year, $255 deal recently. That's not the number, but we're hearing that Lamar Jackson is getting paid more than Jalen Hurts. Wow. This is a guy not getting a single offer sheet. What was all this for? What was all this dancing around for? Ravens don't want to pay him. Ravens don't want to pay him. Ravens don't want to pay him. They toss him out to the offer sheet process and territory. What happens then? What happens when he's sitting out there in offer sheet land? No one comes after him. Not a single offer sheet. And you'd think, okay, now the Ravens are going to definitely not pay him. And then what do the Ravens do? Pay him. It's like, what? Why? It reminds me of signing Debo. Niners, we're going to pay him. We'll just wait. We'll just make all this uncomfortable. Drag it out. And now the Ravens come in and pay him. Now the Ravens come in and pay him a deal. It sounds like it's going to be a 5-year, 250 plus. Let's see. The information keeps rolling in. Doing Lamar Jackson deal before the draft made sense for the Ravens. Possibly drafting a QB high gave Baltimore, in theory, leverage. I don't know, because it sounds to me like the Baltimore Ravens gave him an offer they said they would never give him. If they made him the highest paid quarterback in NFL history, if they made him higher paid right here, this just came out, Lamar's 5-year deal makes him the NFL's highest paid player right over Jalen Hurts, who just got a 5-year, $255 million deal. What were the Ravens doing? I don't know. This is crazy. Let's go to Jordan. Jordan, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Jordan.
Hey, what's going on, man? I just got, one question. Does this make the AFC North the toughest division now?
No, I think, you could, yeah, I like both. I like there's a lot of divisions you could sit here and say are the top division, but the AFC East to me is still the toughest. But that's me. I totally understand if you see the Browns a certain way. Let me drop this on screen here so everybody can take a glance, and you guys can in the comments can drop.
I'm a Bengals fan, so
yeah. I totally get it. And it makes sense. I mean, if somebody truly believes that the North is the toughest division, then I get it. Like Pittsburgh, if you like Cleveland more than I do, I could see someone thinking that, because then you have 4 teams in that division where you feel like, maybe New England's not an elite team right now to many people. So like Bills, Dolphins, Jets, those are phenomenal squads. New England, not a playoff contender to me unless they were to have traded for Lamar Jackson, which is now off the table. Bengals, Ravens, Steelers. You could argue very similar. You could. And if you believe in the Browns, then you got four squads there that are making that a tough division. So I get it, bro. Me personally, I think this is the toughest division of football just because I think these 3 teams are are just going to be so strong. But, I mean, it depends on the Ravens. The Ravens, to me, every year bust. So, I worry about this situation if there's no wide receiver aside from Odell Beckham Jr. being handed to Lamar Jackson, because I don't believe Odell Beckham Jr. is the answer. I guess we also got to say, though, if Odell does somehow stay healthy all year and doesn't play like the best wide receiver in the world, but he's pretty decent, and Andrews is back healthy, and J.K. is healthy, maybe it is a better squad overall than it's ever been. But, I just feel like they run Lamar into the ground. This is a new offense. Monken's installing a new offense. He's a new offensive coordinator. So it's not like Lamar's going back to the same old. If they draft Zay Flowers, they draft Quentin Johnson, they add a new component with the new offensive coordinator that might have a new direction and say, let's get Lamar some wide receivers. Maybe there is some hope here. That's why I say I'm open-minded. If Monken knows what he's doing and Monken wants to set Lamar up for success, bro, this could be different. This could be different in Baltimore. I might actually be more on board and excited for Lamar, and anybody that's, a prospective Lamar owner or a Ravens fan, we're talking about maybe a different situation. Monken's the new component here because Monken's putting in a new offense. Maybe that new offense won't have Lamar running a ton. Maybe that new offense will need that rookie wide receiver. What are you thinking, bro? What are you thinking?
No, I mean they still have Bateman. I think he got injured, right, at the end of the season?
What?
No, I was saying they still have Bateman, so they still have. But they just need one more. I think they're probably one more piece away. To be honest with you. I think Beckham at his age, I don't trust him even being healthy for a full season.
Let me put it this way: I like the Ravens a ton more with Lamar than without him. That's for sure. Like Steven came in here. Steven came here the other day, or like a week ago or 2 weeks ago or whatever, saying that he, thinks they'll be fine. I'm like, what do you mean they're going to be fine? Like, I think Baltimore is a bust location for Lamar unless they make certain moves. But Baltimore is going to crumble into little tiny pieces if they don't have Lamar. Like that. And Steven's like, no, he'll be okay. And I admit I've liked Huntley in the past, but it's just not the same. So it's good. It's good. It's good that this is happening for Baltimore Ravens fans. And to be honest, if they do the right things with the NFL draft selections, and Monken is the real deal and installs an offense that protects Lamar, because that's the big component here that we're not talking about, is that if Monken protects Lamar and builds around Lamar and keeps Lamar safe and healthy and doing Lamar things, but in good ways. Like, you can't hold Lamar back. You have to let Lamar be Lamar. We've seen the Ravens before try and hold Lamar back, and it didn't work out very well. The offense crumbled. They had to switch back to what they didn't want to do. And the Ravens have done this every year, bro. They've continuously, thank you for being YouTube exclusive members. Appreciate you. They've continuously, bro, tried to do something different going into a season, and they've had to back off it because it wasn't going to work. We're going to run heavy. We're going to go run heavy. Hey, we're going to make Lamar stay in the pocket. You can't make Lamar do anything. You need to make sure the offense is built around Lamar being Lamar. Like, for sure. You cannot mess around with this whole let's control Lamar and not allow Lamar to run. But you also have to not have design runs that have this man running to the tune of 220 times a season. He needs to run like 160, 150, 165. Appreciate you, Kevin. I'm going to get to these super chats in a second. File them all in. But, I mean, this is pretty crazy. We should have seen this coming, and we kind of did once Odell signed with the Ravens. They were doing a little, song and dance on Instagram together. Then it felt like that might have been a show, a facade. But then you got to wonder, like, in hindsight, why would it have been? Like, why would Lamar do that to Odell? And why would Odell participate in this fake song and dance to get Lamar a deal? I don't know. Odell genuinely signed, hoping he would have Lamar as his quarterback. He said that. I am going to expect this works out. They celebrated in video fashion on FaceTime, and that was posted on their Instagrams. It was pretty easy at that point to anticipate this happening, but then it went silent. And then we didn't hear anything. And then it felt like, okay, maybe this won't happen. James Brown of Fantasy Football. I'm the James Brown of Fantasy Football. Thank you, Kevin. Appreciate your super chat, young man. To the moon. To the moon, my guy. Hold on one second.
Thank you.
And then AFC. Stay right there, bro. Hold on. AFC North, the grittiest division in football. You know, I can understand that. I know anybody that believes in the Steelers and the Browns, especially if you believe in both of those teams, you're going to see the AFC North as the toughest division of football. Why? Because Joe Burrow and the Bengals are winning the division. They're going to be potential Super Bowl champions in 2023. So I could see how you think, okay, this team, this Bengals division, this Bengals-led division is the best division of football. I can understand it. Don't worry, Ron Navy's on hold in a order here. He's coming up to defend his Steelers. Don't worry. But this Bengal team, team's on its way. Hang tight there for me, Jordan. Next up was Adam, then Ron Navy. Adam, what are you thinking here?
Hey, what's up, Smith?
What's up, my guy? What's going on?
A little door dashing, and then I get this news about Lamar, and I was like, Smitty should be going live here about any 5 minutes, and there you were, right on cue.
There I am, bro. I work for everybody watching right now. I work for every single one of you people watching. Hold on one second, Adam. We got the numbers. The numbers are in. It's in the 260 mil range. Hold on. Dragging on screen. It's a 5-year deal for $260 million for Lamar, the highest paid QB in NFL history and in the NFL. We don't know what the guaranteed money's looking like yet. I imagine that this guaranteed money is above Jalen Hurts' guaranteed money. We're going to find out real soon, so hang tight as we wait on that. That's crazy. So that's right there. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Adam. What did you want to add? Then we're going to go over to Ron Navy. Then we're going to go over to Mike. Adam, go.
I was just gonna say that this should really make it probably even more likely that 5 quarterbacks go in the first round today.
You know what's crazy?
Because now Lamar's not out there no more.
Yeah, I agree with that. You know what's crazy? This roller coaster ride of quarterback up and down. Where are they going to go? How high are they going to go? It's been insane. And this right here is going to, as you just mentioned, but even more so, throw a wrench back into what we thought. Like, here it is, Hendon Hooker. Hendon, why are the quarterbacks all jostled around and getting messed around now? One big reason is Hendon Hooker. What, Smitty? How could you say a guy coming back from a torn ACL, his name is Hendon Hooker, is turning the quarterback market upside down in the NFL draft? Because this man, Hendon Hooker, would have been arguably the 3rd highest ranked quarterback, maybe some would say 2nd in this entire draft class. With Stroud dropping due to all the mental concerns people have, the cognition, the processing, whether you agree with it or not, with that entered into this equation, Hooker may have jumped into the number 2 spot if he was fully healthy. I think it's very important to note how highly regarded this kid was. News came out yesterday that said Hendon Hooker, where's this news? Let me see if I can find it and drag it on screen. Hendon Hooker, news, where are you when I need you? Anyway, I'll find it real quickly and throw it on screen. But Hendon Hooker is reportedly, here it is, right here. He's cleared for 100% by September 1. And the thought process that was confirmed earlier today that he could be ready for week 1. That's about when he'll be cleared. So any team looking to have their quarterback, Hendon Hooker can be that guy in year 1. He's no longer a mid-season returning quarterback project. Because if you think about the way Hendon Hooker felt as a first-round pick months ago, it was like any team that has a quarterback now like Jimmy G, they may draft Hendon Hooker for 2024. That's what everybody kind of thought. Even me, everybody, because we didn't really know where it was at in his progress. But now that he could be cleared for week 1, and he's a quarterback, he's not an RB, you can go out there at a lot less than 100% and still protect it with the brace, not have a huge risk of injury. There could be some swelling and things like that he's got to work through. But as a quarterback, you can go out there. Tom Brady, we've had a lot of quarterbacks that have gone out there their first year back and had a really good Joe Burrow first season. So Hendon Hooker getting out there on week 1, for week 1, is huge. And that jostles up all of this because a team sitting there like the Falcons at 8, or the Raiders at 7, or the Colts at 4, or the Seahawks at 5 that maybe don't believe in Geno like we thought they did. The contract says they believe in him, but this team wants Anthony Richardson bad. So like all these spots that were like, okay, we better trade up. We better go get this number 3 overall pick from the Cardinals. Texans better take a quarterback. Colts better take a quarter. If they're lucky, they get a quarterback because someone's trading into this 3 spot to grab the 3rd quarterback. So the Colts are going to get the scraps. This pressure that was there at the beginning of the draft has now subsided because you've got Hendon Hooker dancing in the 18 to 21 range. At least he did right away. Now he's climbing into the top 15, I think. So now you have these teams that are high pressure to trade up are no longer high pressure to trade up. Now the Texans are talking about not going quarterback because of all the negative talk around Stroud. Maybe that's smoke. Maybe they still take Stroud. I still think there's a real strong chance they do. Cardinals may not be able to trade out. They're not taking quarterback. Colts are second guessing what they want. Seahawks probably still take Anthony Richardson, but you never know because they got the 20 overall pick, and maybe they think Hendon Hooker's fallen to 20. And let me tell you something. I love Hendon Hooker in Seattle. I think that's a phenomenal landing spot because you do have that whole let's let him progress slowly, right? And then we have Geno in there for sure in week 1. That's not going to change. So I mean, the Hendon Hooker has tossed a monkey wrench into the situation for all these quarterback landing spots and valuations and how to project what's going to happen. Quarterback's going to be crazy. But what you did say, I forget, who am I talking to? It was, I think he hung up. It might have been Adam. But the quarterback position definitely going to be hard to predict now, but this now does make it toward these teams thinking Lamar would have been at the other end of the rainbow after the NFL draft. The offer sheet process could maybe be there for them. This is why you did it. This is why you should have come in and not, remember I said, these teams like New England, these teams like Washington and Tennessee, who I didn't want Lamar there anyway, but they were going to play around and wait till they got through the NFL draft on the other side and said, okay, now let's throw an offer sheet down. It wasn't worth holding on to the 14 overall pick. The New England Patriots should have pounced when this was rocky waters for Lamar and the Ravens, but they didn't. Teams sat on their hands. Very shocking to me that no team offered an offer sheet to Lamar. Maybe we end up hearing a little later that it was very evident Lamar was going back to Baltimore, which a lot of people will say they felt that way, but it didn't feel that way. And that might be why teams didn't want to do the front work on here's the contract, and then the Baltimore Ravens come in and say, thank you for drafting up a nice little contract for us. We'll go ahead and take this one right now. That's why a lot of people say they didn't put an offer sheet out. But I don't know. I think that's a stupid, lazy way of saying the team's not going to go after Lamar because they're worried about doing some contract work. Like, come on, give me a break. Teams dropped the ball. Teams that could have had Lamar waited too long, and now he's gone. And I'm shocked that the Baltimore Ravens, actually went through this whole process for nothing. If they were going to pay the man, they should have just, this is crazy. But let's go over to the Bruce. No, I'm sorry, Ron Navy. Ron Navy, you're live.
What's up, Smitty?
What's up, man?
Yeah, who says Lamar needs an agent now? Old mom got it done, didn't she?
She did pull through. She did pull through. It's a good point. It's a good point, but I think a lot of people will still say, did he pave the way for me? No, because I don't want to do all that. What player has time to do what Lamar just went through, all this, enduring all the stress? But you're right. I mean, I think it'll be interesting when we figure out the calculation as to what the exact amount is that he'd save. Once we know what his guaranteed money is, it will be interesting to know if it, and it will sound worth it at the end of the day. But I don't know. It's going to be crazy. Whoever's got their TV on, can you mute yourself? Because you got the big loud, you got something going on in the background. Who is that? That was the Bruce. No, it's Mike. Yeah. Mike bailed. Mike. I don't know what Mike was doing there. Mike was running a whole broadcast in the background of the show there. Okay, Ron Navy, what else you got?
Here's what I think happened. I think that teams were waiting Okay, and I think like a team like Houston, I think Houston, because all the talk came up that Houston was like thinking about not taking a quarterback. I think Houston might have had something going, and I think Baltimore caught wind of it, and I think that Baltimore got scared and said, "All right, let's. We don't want to lose them. We really don't have a there's no chance for us to get a quarterback. I mean,
Thanks, Jake.
Yeah, we got Huntley, but Lamar's so much better. Let's just get it done and save ourselves the headache of other teams coming in after the draft and even raising the price higher than we want to go. So let's just give him what he wants and secure him down. That way we're good to go." And I think Baltimore got scared. And that's why you saw them.
Yeah, I think Lamar got a little lucky that they got scared then, if that's what you're saying. And I think there's some truth to that. But I personally think that this is not it all is contingent on what the Ravens do at 22 overall. If they go back to the old, we're not going to grab a wide receiver. We already did that. We got Odell. And part of that is on Lamar. Like, this was one of Lamar's requests. Maybe another request was to get a wide receiver at 22, and that's in the discussion, and it's already locked and loaded. Like, if he said, "I'll come back if you take Zay Flowers, Quentin Johnson, Jordan Addison, or JSN," and JSN will not be there. But if that was the case, bro, then I'm gonna be excited, and I'm open-minded to wait. I don't want to jump to conclusions on what Baltimore does today, because all we gotta do is wait. We're at the doorstep of knowing whether they're going to take a wide receiver. So I'm going to be very, very. We got rumors that there's some 180 plus fully guaranteed dollars coming in. We're gonna wait and see until we got an official report. I think that if they go wide receiver, which I'm open-minded to waiting to see, then that shows me that Lamar knows what he's doing by saying you take a wide receiver there, or I'm not signing this deal. B, the Ravens are fully committed, and Monken knows what he's doing to build around Lamar properly. If Odell was the answer, and that's all Lamar wanted, that's all the Ravens planned to do, this is not going to end like people think. Let's see. Now Slim wants me to apologize to Lamar's mother. I think that's kind of fair. I think that's fair. You know what? I'll do it. I'll do it. Hold on. Hang tight. Mama Lamar, I just want to say, after tasting your meatloaf the other day, when you served that meatloaf to everybody that was in the audience here, and we doubted your skills to negotiate a $250 million deal. I was wrong. I did say my mom can return a year-old piece of meat she left in the refrigerator to the store, just talking the manager's ear off. She did. This is a true story. I've told it before. My mom took a year-old piece of meat she forgot was in the fridge, and she returned it and said it tasted funny. She cooked it, too. She tried to make the man taste it. She tried to shove a piece of the meat in the man's mouth, and the guy was like, okay, I'll just return it. She returned a year-old piece of meat. I should have known Mama Power was a little stronger than this, and I owe Mama Lamar an apology. She got it done. And if anybody needs an agent, Lamar Jackson's mother is available for hire. This woman is the best agent in the National Football League. Mama Jackson.
Where's your mashed potatoes?
I mean, this woman concocted the best the best deal we've seen in NFL history. You know how they say AI is going to take out a lot of jobs? AI is replacing every job. Artificial intelligence is here to take everyone's job. Mama Lamar is here to take all the agent jobs out there. What good is having an agent at this point? Mama Lamar says all you got to do is just get one of those yellow phones in the fridge, one of the rotary ones, put it right by the pot of meatloaf that's brewing and cooking and steaming all night long, and you just wait. You wait there with the cloth on the kitchen table. You know, I picture her smoking a cigarette, just waiting for the phone call in the middle of the night. And I bet you the Ravens called a couple times, and she said, hello? And they said, we're not interested. Playing hardball. Mama Lamar. Yeah. I think this paves a new way for players. I don't know that a lot of players are interested in doing what Lamar did. I think that's the moral of the story. Mom must have had everyone over for spaghetti dinner, says Jack. Appreciate you with the super chat. Jack of all trades doing Jack of all trades things. Smitty, appreciate that. And then what was the other one? AFC North, grittiest division. Okay, thank you for those super chats, guys. Appreciate you very, very much.
Hey, also, don't forget to give Taddy another shout out because those exclusive members, he gifted another 5 earlier.
Oh, God. Taddy to the moon. Taddy to the moon. Taddy, appreciate you. You're Smitty.
You've just been.
So is Mama Lamar. Mama Lamar, Smitty approved as well. What else are we doing here? 180.
But I have to agree. With Lamar coming back, it does make the AFC North. I mean, I put it right up there with the AFC. I mean,
it's up there for sure. Like I don't want to throw any disrespect on it. I'm not saying it's not in the conversation. I still think this is. Go ahead.
Vamp's back. Hey, Vamp, welcome back, brother.
Vampy, yeah, I've reached out to a couple people. I reached out to Vamp and I said, Vamp, you need to get in here. Like, where are you at, Vamp? 13-month membership, celebration here for Vampy. Moms for the W. Vamp, where you been, bro? Where you been? Mashed potato for Vamp. Moonshot for Vamp. Vamp, appreciate you being here. Yeah. Mama Lamar just made $7.8 million. That's 3% agent fee. Might be the case. 7.8. I wonder if she's collecting that. I wonder if Lamar says, Mama, you're getting 7.8. My only thing would be that if this was the agent fee, like the team would be willing to up the deal. I don't think my argument really actually goes to the wayside or anything. The team would be willing to up the amount given to just get it done, you know what I mean? To like, let's get some good communication here. Just because Lamar didn't get his trade out of Baltimore ultimately doesn't mean that I feel like this was a win for him. I think out of Baltimore was the best option for him. So I don't know that he didn't get a trade. He didn't get an offer sheet. I think his process didn't succeed. I think he went back to Baltimore. Like, you could say he went back to Baltimore, and like Ron said, Baltimore was so worried about everything, they gave him what he wanted. But I don't know that I would ring the bell as if this thing was a huge success, like in that he was able to get out. It feels like he went back. It feels like he just, it sounded like he kind of wanted to stay though. So I wouldn't say like he tucked his tail between his legs, went back and got the biggest contract ever in the history of the NFL. Yeah!
I really feel,
I
honestly feel that Houston had something to do with this. And now, because we had all the talk that Houston was going to not take a quarterback, now I think that this happened. I think Houston definitely takes a quarterback.
Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard for me to be negative on somebody that just inked the biggest contract in NFL history.
Even if Baltimore doesn't do the right thing and get a receiver today, or do that, Lamar got the deal he was looking for. So, I mean, if it's going to be the same old Baltimore doing the same old stuff, I mean, he signed the contract. He's stuck there for the next 5 years, so there's no complaining.
So that's all I'm saying is I'm patiently waiting the draft, which is approaching very, very soon, and you're all going to be here. 6 straight hours of live draft coverage beginning at our normal Monday through Friday time at 7 p.m. Eastern. That ironically lines up perfectly. Hour before the draft, we go live through the draft, and we go live after the draft. 6 hours straight of coverage beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. So every single one of you, all 212 of you, better be here for the live draft party coverage. Live watch party draft tracker on screen. I've got it right here. Here's the draft. No, where's the draft tracker? Hold on. I got it somewhere. Where's my draft tracker? I think it's right here. Here's my draft tracker on screen. Look at this beautiful thing right here. So we're going to drag, the offensive players into their spots. We're going to keep track of the defensive players. Obviously, I've started to to compile names, and we're going to start putting those in their draft slot locations. But this is the live draft tracker. It's happening during the entire first round, so I need everybody to be here. Every single one of you to be here. But we will find out if this is actually a good thing. Again, Lamar Jackson did accomplish what he wanted, getting his own deal, having no agent, got the most money of any quarterback in the NFL, which means Joe Burrow is going to get an absolute monstrous contract. Get Joe Burrow coming up soon.
People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.
Get burrowed.
I can't imagine what Burrow's contract's going to look like.
I knew you were Burrow.
Look, Joe Burrow's next. I imagine. Okay, so here's the deal. Let me see if I can. Ravens entered the draft with around $4 million in cap space, including Lamar's $32.4 million franchise tag number. Will be lessened with the new deal. Space for a wide receiver. Okay, so let me put that on screen here. We can discuss that. 1 second. Let me drop that. We got another piece of news breaking right here. All of it is Lamar Jackson related. This one right here. Okay, we don't have anything really new yet. This is the newest piece of info right here. I think my food's here too. Miss Smitty ordered me food. Right here.
Nice.
Around $4 million in cap space, including Lamar's $32.4 million franchise tag number, will be lessened with the new deal, meaning that they're gonna do some sort of team-friendly deal, upfront money, obviously. The salary portion of year one will be low. Remember Watson's contract? Watson got, I believe, $47 or $48 million per year on his 5-year deal. Ladies and gentlemen, $48 million per year guaranteed for 5 years. That's what Watson got. That's what caused all this. And so, but if you remember Watson's deal, he got his first $47 million in an upfront guaranteed bonus, signing bonus. And his salary for year one was $1 million. So his $48 million was divided into 47 and 1. And so the Ravens are probably looking at something similar, structured to where year one is more of a signing bonus in advance. His salary smaller. Year 2, 3, 4 salary increases. Dead cap's going to potentially be huge. But we'll look at all that once the numbers officially come in. But space for a wide receiver. If Lamar Jackson said, I want a wide receiver, and I want a wide receiver now, then I'm gonna be impressed by this whole situation, and we're gonna have not only the division ranked a little higher, like everyone's saying that they believe right now they have the North higher ranked now, obviously, because Lamar's backing it, but I will also be very, very intrigued by Lamar's value in fantasy if he gets a Zay Flowers. If he gets a Zay Flowers, that's a good place for Zay to be, because I don't believe in Odell. And we saw what Hollywood Brown could do. We know Lamar can throw the ball when he has a good wide receiver. I think people are way too down on this kid's ability to improve and be accurate. Here's the official 1 minute ago from Adam Schefter. $185 million guaranteed, which is what we've been kind of anticipating for the last 4 or 5 minutes. But I wanted to wait until it was officially official. Here is the official numbers from Adam Schefter. Lamar Jackson, compensation update. Lamar Jackson's 5-year deal is worth $260 million, as previously reported, for the last, 38 minutes, including, here's the official guaranteed number, $185 million guaranteed per sources. On an average per year basis, it makes Jackson the NFL's new highest paid quarterback. Congratulations, Lamar Jackson and Mama Lamar, for doing what you said you would do, which was get Lamar Jackson not only paid, but paid without an agent. Mama Lamar to the moon. I do owe her an apology. I don't know that this is a better situation, though. It depends on this number 22 overall pick. If Lamar gets his wide receiver there, I'm going to be way, way, way more on board of saying that, you know what, this is going to work out pretty well. They don't go wide receiver. I don't know that much has changed other than he got his big fat payday, which Mama Lamar did.
Well, it pushes Andrew's value back up the board.
It does.
The uncertainty Andrew was down. So
It does.
you go.
Andrews goes back to what, like bottom of third? Let's go over to Jake the Snake. Jake, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show, and then the Bruce.
Yeah, congratulations to Lamar and his mother. I wish that I could have someone negotiate contracts the way she does in my life. That would be nice.
I know.
And secondly, I don't think this changes anything for the AFC North. This is going to be a dogfight between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns, and the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. They'll just be,
Jake's
they'll just be
big
others.
Browns
They're just
delusional
teams
believer.
that, they exist, but who cares? That type of vibe.
Yeah. Hey, Jake, I have a question for you. What's more likely? You walk into a Kmart, or a Walmart, and you see the rack of jerseys on sale. What's more likely? You see a Pittsburgh Steelers jersey, a Baltimore Ravens jersey, a Bengal jersey, or a Cleveland Brown jersey? Which one's most likely in that, 25 or 50% off, buy 4, get 8 free?
Well, that's just because the Browns have terrible designs.
Okay.
I mean, who would want to wear one of those jerseys to begin with? But the talent on the roster is clearly the first or second best in the division.
Let's go over to the Brucey real quick. Brucey, what are you feeling right now, bro?
My whole thing is, yes, Lamar turned down 3 years, $133 million guaranteed. But what if this was all like, you know what? I'm gonna wait. I might not sign an offer sheet, but I'm going to wait for these other quarterbacks, for the first quarterback to get a big contract and say, this is what I want. I don't want a receiver. I don't want this. You see how Hurt signed now? I want that kind of money.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see. This is being reported as 185 fully guaranteed, but some of these reports have been a little bit inconsistent when they report 133 fully guaranteed or 175 fully guaranteed with the injury clause part put into it. Hurts's guaranteed money was spoken to, I think, in fully guaranteed injury clause, stuff like that when it was initially coming out. So it'd be interesting to see how far off this is from the 3-year 133 fully guaranteed, which in a sense could still be one of those contracts that you might want to look at over this one, because you could re-up after 2 years and take advantage of an increased salary cap. You could take advantage of Joe Burrow's contract being out of the way, Hurts's contract being out of the way. These contracts are going to just inch up and up and up and up. So after Burrow signs, after Herbert signs, and Lamar's got his, let's say, his 133 fully guaranteed for 3 years, who's to say he wasn't going to be in prime position 2 years from now to re-up with the Ravens or get some new. So, I still think maybe Lamar, there was some regret for Lamar, not taking what he floated out there to be a bad offer. And everyone's like, Lamar, that's not a bad offer. And maybe he had some regret. The Ravens had some scared, regret-filled feelings going on with, this whole process. I think maybe they felt very fortunate. No one had offered an offer sheet yet because they weren't prepared to say goodbye, or they weren't sure what they wanted to do. They re-signed Huntley, I think, in a little bit of a panic. That was a good move anyway, because Huntley, whenever you have a quarterback, you want to have your backup very much mirror the play of that quarterback. That way your offense can stay the same if something happens. So they needed to bring Huntley back, but you could tell that it was like no one knew where this was going to go, including, I believe, Lamar and Baltimore. And like Ron said, the Ravens probably got a little worried. They became a little bit of petrified Peter type of action going on. Worried about what happens on the other end of this draft. Maybe they're hearing buzz that we were going to hear, like the Colts, and we might hear this soon, that, oh my God, the Colts were really going to go hardcore after Lamar, and they were going to pass on a quarterback, and then they were going to think about it from this perspective too. If you say, what's a motivation for the Ravens to do this now? If the Colts skip on drafting a quarterback, if the Texans skip on drafting a quarterback, what does that mean? They're fully committed maybe to the Lamar Jackson offer sheet path. And they fully could have given Lamar way more than the Ravens would. And so the Ravens, if anybody thinks that the Ravens just did this for themselves to know what they need to draft, they did this in a defensive move too. Because if these teams passed on a quarterback, they were going to go no matter what all in on Lamar, and it would have been a potential bidding war. So the Ravens probably said to themselves, crap, this could backfire on us if we let it go through the NFL draft, because these teams will fully commit going Lamar Jackson if they pass on a rookie QB. So similar to I forget who said it on the other caller, that this now almost makes it to where these quarterbacks are going to for sure go high again, because are the Texans, the Colts, all these teams going to really pass on a quarterback now with no Lamar Jackson on the other side of the rainbow? I don't think so. I think it makes it very much more likely that Texans kind of rethink, okay, we were in a little like drunken bender last night, having some bright Jerry Maguire moments. We're writing memos about how we don't have to go quarterback right here. We got something on the other side of the rainbow that we're going to attack after the draft. Or, hey, Colts, quiet. We're going after Lamar. Offer sheet inbound, Lamar. Get ready. We're loading the offer sheet up after the draft. We're going to spend this pick on a JSN. We're going to move it down a little, take JSN. Now all of that is off the table, and I believe what Ron said is partially true. The Ravens were afraid of what was on the other side of the NFL draft because these teams were fully going to commit to not having a quarterback in this draft, and you can't go back from that. You can't go back from that. Similar to the Jets not being able to really fully come back from where they were headed if they didn't bring Aaron Rodgers in and didn't offer this conditional first rounder to the Jets. They had nowhere to go, so they had to go all in. They had to go all in. These teams would have had to do that if they passed on a quarterback. So there's a whole lot going on here. And at the end of the day, my assessment is I am open-minded to liking this spot for Lamar, but it has to come via the NFL draft, number 22 overall pick. What do the Baltimore Ravens do with it? If they go after even Quentin Johnston, even Hyatt, let's say Hyatt goes before Quentin Johnston, very possible. Hyatt is climbing a lot of draft boards right now. He has been tagged as one of the top 5 late last second, 11th hour sleeper climbers in the first round. And so wouldn't shock me in the slightest if Hyatt was a Baltimore Raven. And that would be a good move for the Ravens. He is a good enough receiver. He's got a lot of good skill sets. I've kind of made fun of the way he like runs kind of forward. You know, like he's probably a lot taller than he looks, but when he runs, he like lowers his head. But this dude's a quick kid. He went out and put on a show in his workout for a lot of different teams and showed a lot of speed, precision, good route running. Hyatt reminds me of one of those players, like I always say, the NFL. You don't know what you're going to get. And there's on my Instagram stories, I posted a clip of Jalen Hurts saying, the interviewer says, "Hey, Jalen, how did you feel when you were benched for Tua in the second half?" And they hand the mic over to Hurts, and it's crazy watching Hurts answer this question because he says it with a bunch of like enthusiasm, and he's such a good dude. Hurts goes, "I told him to go out there, like in so many words, go out there and kill it, you know." And like, how does it feel that you were benched? He's like, "Look, you know, he didn't make a big deal out of it, but you start to realize how important it is to keep an open mind to a player getting better at the NFL level, you know." So if you have Jalen Hurts sitting here getting benched for Tua, and you're drawing conclusions that Tua will be better than Jalen Hurts in the NFL, you don't really know. You don't really know. Tua did look better coming out of college. He did. Just like Johnny Football looked great coming out of college. Tim Tebow looked good coming out of college. And Tom Brady, no one even knew who he was. So, like, the NFL has a tendency, especially with QBs over other positions, to turn you into something you may never have been projected to turn into. But I think it's just important to keep that in mind all over, because a guy like Hyatt, for example, might be better than any of us ever imagined because he's got the foundation, the drive, the grit, and then the situation mixed with it. And Baltimore would be pretty good for Hyatt. I just think Hyatt could be a guy that goes like he's the third wide receiver taken, and Quentin Johnston falls. Quentin Johnston could go high to someone like the Chargers, or he could go to the Texans at 12 because he would be very good with Stroud if JSN ends up going early. Whole lot going on here. Let's go over to the Bruce real quick, and then to Tyler.
The other thing I'm thinking is maybe he said, "Look, I ain't going to listen to any offer sheet you bring me to Odell, and you draft me a receiver." And maybe he wanted this offensive coordinator in there. We don't know. Maybe his other thinking was, "I want this offensive coordinator guy," you know? And maybe the 31 other teams found out, hey, he's only playing bluff with the Ravens. So they're like, why even give him a offer sheet?
Yeah. I mean, bro, there's gonna be a lot of speculation over the course of the next, 24 hours. I think we're gonna have to let some of it get lost in the NFL draft stuff. But yeah, fully guaranteed, $185 million. This is exciting because of the last second spin it puts on the quarterback market inside a draft that was thought to have not one quarterback in the top 5, or top 4. Not 2 quarterbacks in the top 4, not 3 quarterbacks in the top 4, but at one point during the offseason, we had 4 quarterbacks going 1, 2, 3, 4. First time it'll ever happen, I believe. And now that's kind of fallen to the wayside. And we've been wondering if we'll have 2 quarterbacks go in the top 5. Like, that's the way the last 24 hours have gone. It's been Texans going Levis at number 2. I understand that. I understand not going live at all ever again more than I understand the Texans taking Levis at 2 overall. That makes no sense to me at all, and I think it's ridiculous. They could do it, but I don't see why I don't see how they could even think like that. The Texans have been too smart throughout this entire process to be taking Levis at 2. But then again, you could say, Smitty, what about what you just said? What about talking about Jalen Hurts getting benched and being interviewed? Hey, Jalen, how do you feel about getting benched for Tua Tagovailoa? Like, we never really know. Levis has got a lot of talent. I'm not saying he couldn't prove me wrong, but I don't think he's the number 2 quarterback in this draft class. I think Hooker's better than Levis for a long-term, piece for a team. So that's why if I'm a team in the 7 to 12 range, I'm loving the idea of Hendon Hooker here. I would take Hooker at 12. The Texans should take Hendon Hooker at 12 if they pass on a quarterback here at 2. And they're smart enough because Serio's doing great things in Houston. It would be a pretty, what would be sweet? It would be amazing if this team drafted JSN by trading down right here and they took Hendon Hooker at 12. That would be phenomenal. Or they trade 2 down to take Hendon Hooker and they take JSN at 12. Whichever way it works. But JSN and Hendon Hooker might be better than going quarterback here and not getting JSN. You know what I mean? Like Ron, would you rather have Hooker? Because you're a Stroud believer. So I feel like this is a good person to ask. Would you rather have JSN guaranteed because you'd move down a little bit from this 2, but not too much? You move to maybe the Falcons, who could maybe go QB. Would you rather have Hendon Hooker and JSN or Stroud and maybe not JSN, but another wide receiver? Hello?
Yeah, well, I do like Stroud, and I think, Mechie's already cleared to come back, so he's a piece right there. I don't think they really need to go. I mean, there's a lot of talk out there that there might go Stroud and then go defense with what's his name? I mean, there's that talk out there too. So I'm not sure what Houston's going to do, but Hooker, if he wouldn't have had that injury, he'd be so much higher in a lot of these teams. But I don't think Atlanta's going to go quarterback. I think Bijan goes to Atlanta.
But answer the question, Ron.
I think Atlanta blocks the Eagles.
Ron, hold on.
To Atlanta.
Ron, I just want an answer to the question, though. Would you rather have Stroud and a wide receiver, not JSN, in this draft? Maybe a small chance JSN drops, but would you rather have Stroud and that wide receiver, or would you rather have guaranteed JSN with Hendon Hooker if you're the Texans' decision maker?
Yeah, that's so tough.
But it's close enough.
Yeah, I mean, the eye test with Hooker is really good. I'd probably you'd have more value to get Hooker and Jason.
Ron says Hooker passed the eye test. Okay, Vampy, appreciate you being here again. Space Rookie says Hendon Hooker won't be ready until November. That is not actual factual information, my guy. We've already reported on it. That's cap.
That is cap.
That is false information there, Space Ricky. We've already reported on it, my man. We've already reported on it. Hooker could be ready for week 1. Hendon Hooker. Now, I don't think... Who's mumbling in the background right now, over and over? Who's doing that? Is that Bruce?
That's me, Smitty. I had a...
Okay, Bruce, go ahead. Let's get this out of the way because I keep hearing a...
All right.
Go ahead, Bruce.
All right, so here's my thinking. What if instead of a receiver, what if he told them, go up and draft Bijan because I don't like my running back?
Are we talking about Lamar all of a sudden
draft
again? Hold on, let me go back to the NFL
Yeah.
draft board. Bruce, he's like, look, let's go back a few steps. First of all, Space
Yeah.
Ricky, again, Hendon Hooker is going to be 100% cleared by September 1, and he should very much be in play for week 1. But a team that goes after him might be okay sitting him for a couple, a month or so. So you're talking
Yeah,
about
what if he says, give me your...
Yeah, you're talking about Baltimore trading up to get Bijan. It's possible. I
or
mean,
Satan for another running back. Because they say he's like, I don't like JK, I don't like Gus.
if there was ever a time to argue that I want this to happen, or it was during this negotiation. So it's very, very possible Lamar said, you take Zach Charbonnet or I'm gone. If Bijan's there, you take him. If not, you take Charbonnet or I'm not doing it. Or, hey, take Zay Flowers or I'm not doing it. Very possible that he said something like that, but given his assessment of Odell Beckham Jr. being his number one target for a teammate, I don't know that he has the foresight, no offense, to see Charbonnet as that running back. Because that's a little bit ahead of the curve type stuff, I think, from an analysis perspective, that these players unfairly, it'd be unfair of us to expect them to understand how good Charbonnet is going to be. You know what I mean? So that part probably is a pipe dream for us that and I don't even know that I want him in Baltimore. Baltimore would be a pretty decent spot with Lamar there because they've been known to run the football well, but they also rotate. I don't know what Monken's going to do, but I don't know if it's going to be Charbonnet. I think your argument of, hey, if Bijan's there, take him. And there's a possibility Bijan falls because we've heard him falling all the way to 26. We've heard him he's going number 3 to the Cardinals. We've heard him say there's no way he's going past the Falcons. We hear that all day today. He's going to the Falcons. He's going to the Falcons. He's going to the Bears. He's going to the Eagles. All 3 of these teams think they're getting him 100%. And one of them should. The way that this is vibing out right now, it feels like Bijan's not slipping past these 3 teams right here, which we are here for it. It's what we want. It's going to make us ear-to-ear grin. These are the top RB landing spots in fantasy football. Chicago, Philly, the Bengals, the Bills, and Atlanta Falcons. If we get Bijan, Gibbs, and Charbonnet all going to one of these teams, we are going to celebrate beyond celebrate. We might even do a 24-hour live stream celebration if all 3 of these guys land in these locations. Mix or match, doesn't matter. These are the places that we want them to be. As far as what the Ravens could commit to Lamar, I don't think they can commit much other than, hey, we'll do what we can. It's not going to be one of those things where, hey, you're getting Bijan. They can't really control that. Especially, it's hard to trade up anyway. So we'll see. Brucey, I believe maybe a conversation was had. What, Ron?
I think the Ravens. I think it's a high possibility the Ravens get Flowers.
Yeah, I mean that's
I agree with that, Ron.
Flowers at 21 or 22. He's probably going, I think, by those 2 picks. I really want Flowers to the Chargers, but Flowers feels like a Raven. Like you close your eyes and you picture what wide receivers announced. It's either Hyatt or Flowers to me. I feel like maybe they look at Quentin Johnson though to give Lamar something a little different, But I think Odell and Flowers. That's all of a sudden a pretty formidable wide receiver crew, and there's some reason to get a little more excited about Lamar. So Flowers at 21 to the Chargers or 22. Those are the most likely landing spots. The Giants would be interesting too. Zay Flowers to the Giants, but hopefully he doesn't go to hopefully he doesn't go to the Dallas Cowboys or something. I don't want Flowers. I don't want Flowers to go there. The Bengals will be interesting because they may take a wide receiver in smart fashion. It would be kind of like at first, like, oh crap, how are all those wide receivers going to exist and burrow to the moon if he gets a Flowers or Quentin Johnson? But look, Higgins is not locked into place for the long term yet. There's still a big problem there. And the Bengals, right now are talking like we're not in the business, is I think almost the exact quote that the Bengals have used as a staff. We're not in the business of getting rid of good players. We're in the business of keeping good players. That was talked about. That's how Higgins. That's how Higgins. Yeah, that's how Higgins was talked about. And so the Bengals are looking, in my opinion, ahead. And yeah, it could be tight end. It could be maybe Mayer's gone by then, of course, but maybe Kincaid or Mayer is sitting there floating around. Probably not. Darnell Washington, 6'7", he'd make a good fit too. But I think they're going to be in anticipation mode to give Burrow continued support that mirrors the support he has now, in anticipation that they can't keep T. Higgins. Because T. Higgins is going to want Lamar Jackson money now. He's going to look at this and go, I don't care if I'm a wide receiver. I want a $260 million deal as well. And so there's a little concern that T. Higgins is going to be hard to retain. And so look for that to happen. Sir Handsome, appreciate you becoming a member.
Gannon just gifted 10.
Who did?
Gannon Styles.
Gannon Styles gifted, let's see here. Let's see. Yeah, you got one from Gannon. Where's Gannon? Gannon. Let me try and pull this on screen. Gannon, appreciate you. Gannon gifted 10 YouTube exclusive memberships. Gannon to the moon. Gannon, standing ovation. Gannon. Appreciate you. Let's let that play out so people understand what happens when someone like Gannon comes in and gives 10 exclusive memberships. It literally has spacemen dancing all over the screen for the next 2-3 minutes. There's the link if anybody wants to become a YouTube exclusive member. Wow, what a lot of info. Real quickly, Ron, let's go to Tyler. Let's go to Tyler. He's been waiting real patiently. Tyler, I'm sorry I've left you on hold almost half the show. What could I do for you, Tyler? You're live.
No, you're good. Just my feelings on the Lamar thing. I think Lamar just looked at the Ravens and said, nobody's looking at me. I might as well sign something. And the Ravens, Lamar is saying, hey, it's either you or Huntley that we're going to start the year with, because we can't find anybody better than Lamar.
I might as well sign something. I love that description you have there, Tyler. I might as well sign something.
Well,
$260 million deal.
He looked around. Nobody wanted him.
Which is weird.
He's like, hey, I either start playing football or take my chances somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, Lamar is definitely backed into a corner. It was just so odd. It's really odd that the Ravens were sitting in the same corner still, like scared as well.
Yeah.
You know, like that's an ironic. I think what it is
we get Tyler Huntley, or
it's a
snap in professional football in his life.
It's a combination of like Ron said, the Ravens being backed in a corner and saying this NFL draft these teams are going to make decisions based on whether to skip a quarterback, and if they do, they're very much going to be interested in Lamar. We got to do it now. And Lamar is sitting here going, I think Lamar was worried as well, even though he seems very nonchalant about it, and his mom doesn't care. His mom's just sitting there in the kitchen firing out the meatballs and meatloaf, just waiting for that yellow rotary phone to ring and just be like, yep, is it higher than Deshaun's? And we don't want it. All right, the meatloaf's ready. They don't care at all. This is why they probably, this is how I said when my mom returned that year-old piece of meat to the grocery store, the manager was like at first, ma'am, this is a year-old piece of
now
meat.
These other teams are just making decisions on blind luck.
Yeah. So, ma'am, this is a year-old piece of meat. And my mom said, okay, but it tastes funny. And the guy's like, ma'am, you've had it in the fridge for a year. Of course it tastes funny. It wasn't in the fridge a full year. She took it in and out. I forget the whole exact story. It would have smelled if it was in there the whole year. But this woman she cooked it. My mom cooked it. A year-old piece of meat, been in and out of the freezer, and she tried to force the manager to taste it. And he finally just said, here's your money back. Just take your money back. She didn't listen to anything he was saying. I just picture Lamar's mom being cool, calm, collective. They called her up. They offered her something that they thought was going to be a good deal. She's like, is it Watson's money? No, we don't want it. Meatloaf's ready, everyone. This woman was stone cold, didn't hesitate. Mama Lamar, agent of the year. I already said my apologies to her. I still think at the end of the day, we don't know if this will work out for Lamar. Would he have gotten the same amount of money going to another team if he had an agent? You know, like I think Drew Rosenhaus could have worked up a very similar deal, if not better, in a situation where Lamar was maybe set up better. But we'll find out. Maybe Lamar gets Zay Flowers and he'll be set up better than we think. We haven't seen him succeed in Baltimore.
You got all the players coming out. You got all the players coming
And
out
then,
right now. Texting Lamar, congratulating him. Derek Carr, you deserve every penny.
Yep.
Ingram, they're all the players are coming out. So they're. If Lamar had an impact,
it's crazy.
Lamar had an impact.
It's crazy that Lamar didn't get a single offer sheet. I'm still dumbfounded by it. There's no way to even contemplate or comprehend it. How not one team said, "Hey, the Falcons, Arthur Blank shooting blanks." This guy went out there and insulted Lamar. He went out there and said, "This is in order to get a quarterback, you need a quarterback to be on the field." And he just literally wanted Deshaun Watson so badly. He was willing to overpay for Deshaun Watson, go get Deshaun Watson at any cost. Didn't know that the same thing was being talked about in Cleveland, and they were going to one-up everybody in the 11th hour. But this team wanted Deshaun Watson. Arthur Blank wanted Deshaun Watson, and yet he doesn't want Lamar. It was head-scratching. When our fantasy football hearts were broken the day we heard the Falcons were out on Lamar, because that was the only place to go. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. I can't even make sense of a lot of what happened with this Lamar situation because none of it's really logical. And it's not even logical to see the Ravens cave and give him what he wants when there's not on a single offer sheet. It's just the pressure of the NFL draft and these teams on the back side of the draft and what they might do. But at the end of the day, Lamar got what he wanted. He got the money he wanted. Now let's just see if Baltimore turns out to be the place he should have went. And that will be very much contingent on this 22 overall pick, and I'm open-minded to see what they do. Let's real quickly.
And then one more thing.
All right, Tyler.
How big if Bijan Robinson ends up in the Falcons, how big of a hit is that if he doesn't end up in say the Eagles?
Well, I mean, we love the Falcons. We love the Falcons. They're on the board as one of the top landing spots. They're at the bottom of it because I think it's pretty obvious why I like Chicago better than the Atlanta Falcons. They got Fields. They got an offense that's going to matriculate the football down the field on the regular. Philadelphia has Jalen Hurts. They're going to move that football down the field in the red zone on the regular. The Bengals, they live in the red zone. That's where they live. I don't know that the Bengals have ever been in a non-red zone situation in my entire life. And then the Buffalo Bills, same thing. Quarterback Josh Allen. What is in common with all these elite top 5, top 4 quarterbacks in these situations? Atlanta has Ritter. So they're in a tier break below, but they're still an amazing landing spot. So to answer your question in full, young man, Tyler, I would say that I love the Falcons. I think everybody here loves the Falcons as a landing spot. But I think most of us like the Bears, Eagles, obviously the Buffalo Bills and Bengals, but that's not going to happen unless they trade up. Those are better landing spots probably. And we don't want to say bye to Algier quite yet, but the Falcons are one of those situations where, if I had to tell you on the clock, you've got to accept the Falcons as Bijan's landing spot right now or take the risk in the 11 to 21 overall range. You would say, give me the Falcons. Give me the Falcons now. I don't care. If you're telling me you guarantee me he's going to the Falcons or I run the risk of him falling and he goes to New England or he falls and he goes to Tampa or he falls and he goes to the Dallas Cowboys because there's some kind of thing that happens and he just doesn't go and we're all scratching our head and we're like, oh my God. If anybody doesn't think we couldn't sit here during the entire first round today, and we'll be live, by the way, and go, oh my God, Bijan didn't go. Oh my God, Bijan didn't go. If you think that is impossible, then you haven't watched an NFL draft in recent years because anything can happen and any player can take a tumble. News could break on Bijan. Oh, he failed some kind of questionnaire that they gave him. You don't even know what could trigger some kind of fall. He was in some kind of dispute, altercation. These are all I'm just making things up. But those things can cause all kinds of tumbles. So if you sit here and say, Smitty, you'll guarantee me the Falcons, you take it. You just take it. That's a top 5 landing spot, even though it's number 5. it's a guaranteed place where he could thrive. You got Ritter coming up. We'll see what he does. But if Ritter's not the answer, guess what? They're going to be bad, and they're going to bring in a quarterback. And you've got Drake London, you've got Kyle Pitts, you got Bijan Robinson. This team's going to be pretty good if they land Bijan. Even with Ritter, they're going to be pretty good, I think. We've got
Bijan opens up Pitts and London for Ritter. I mean, that's a no-brainer there. I mean, London and Pitts are going to go off with Bijan on their team.
Yeah, the team will start to get better immediately, and they'll bring in a quarterback. That'll bring in a quarterback. Even if it takes a year, Bijan's still going to have a massive amount of volume and be very, very good. Let's go to Cali Loco. Cali Loco, what's up, pal?
Hey, great show, Smitty, as always. Hats off to Mama Lamar. She won the chicken battle.
To the moon.
You know what I mean? We were talking about the piece of meat, but I imagine her like in a big rig truck and going head on, and she didn't turn left. She just kept going straight, and the Ravens turned right.
Yeah.
You know, this gets.
You know, it'd be funny.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I say, it'd be funny if his mom had literally nothing to do with it. The Ravens are just like, like it's kind of like, hey, Lamar, we're gonna offer you, and Lamar's just like my mom. Lamar's like, yeah, I want Deshaun wants some money, and they're just like, just give him this contract. He's gonna accept this. Just give him this contract. Let's go ahead and I don't know how crazy the negotiations probably were. They probably just had a number.
He probably was doing it himself,
Yeah,
but he put it out there for the mom to take pressure off himself. But
I also wonder if he had to have somebody on some sort of legal level. Maybe he didn't have an agent, but he had to have somebody that's going to help him read through this contract, help him go through. He had to have had somebody that had some knowledge on it. But I mean, look, he got it done. Again, the question would be, is would his agent have got enough to make up to pay for himself? You know what I mean? That's the whole thing. I don't feel wrong in that the players shouldn't be doing this with a $250,000 deal. Lamar, even though it worked out, Lamar Jackson still should have been focusing on the things that, that I would, if as a player, I would want to focus on. And that's why guys like Odell have an agent. They don't want to deal with all this stuff. Some people do. Some people want to save every little bit. But a guy like Drew Rosenhaus would have probably got the same deal plus his amount on top of it and got it done really early on. So it's a victory in a sense, but I think also people that are going to assume this is the new way, it's not that simple. Just because he signed a big deal doesn't mean he couldn't have signed a bigger deal. Doesn't mean he couldn't have been in a better spot. It ultimately doesn't decide anything for me until we get out of this NFL draft and we know what wide receiver room he has. Because if it's just Odell, this is a failure to me.
And sometimes it creates bad blood, like when he's trying to do the negotiating himself, you get too emotional about it. I know you've talked about this before, and then now you got bad feelings, whereas the agent can, the nitty-gritty of the contract as you're working through it, you're not doing daily battles and getting upset. And that's the other thing. But he needed a guarantee because of his physical play. And I thought last year, him sitting out, that was a bad look, So hopefully now he's got his money. That's not going to happen because you got to be out there like Mahomes, my homeboy. You got to be out there when it's payday time. You're hurt or not, whatever you got to do. That was a bad look.
We got a couple. We got a couple people that want to put Mama Lamar on the Moonman list.
She could drive the rocket. You know what I mean?
Do we need to? In the truck. Do we need to put her in the window of the shuttle?
Put her in the window.
Or
got a picture of her.
Does she need to be? Do we need to call it Moonmen and Lamar's mom? The Moonman list and Lamar's mom. Or does she just become?
Or she could be, at NASA. She could be at NASA. You had the guys in the white shirts with a tie.
Yeah.
She could be at NASA with a headset.
She's basically going to be like. Control, we're setting the shuttle up now. Fire up the moon list.
The Moon Men dropping loads in
outer right.
space.
Thank you, Smitty.
All right.
Great show.
Callie, appreciate you, pal.
Care.
Later.
Bye.
All right, guys, I'm going to head out. Ron, you got any final thoughts? I'm going to head out, come back. 185 of you in here. Thumb up.
I think we need an intervention and Swaggy and our boy Fire. I think they've been taking trips out to the field, picking some wild mushrooms and eating them. That's why they come in with their delusional takes on the Steelers and stuff. So yeah, they got to stay off. We got to have an intervention. They got to stop taking those wild mushrooms, eating them, and being delusional.
Well, all I know is
Swaggy, the Bills have been through so many coaches over the years, and they're 0 for 4 in the Super Bowl. And
Jack,
now
call in.
we'll go to Cleveland. How many coaches have they been through? And they don't even have anything to put in their trophy case because they have no Super Bowl wins. So stop being delusional. Stop eating those mushrooms, and I'll see you later.
All right, Ron, appreciate you. Later, pal. Jack, call in if you want to add anything. You were on hold, and I think you might have dropped off. I maybe made you wait too long, or did you maybe talk? I don't think you talked. So dial in real quick. Lamar Jackson, Odell Beckham Jr., J.K. Dobbins. I'm staying away from the whole team until the draft's over. I'm gonna have a really harsh reality for everybody. At least my perspective. I could be wrong, but my perspective is not gonna be a positive one for Lamar if they exit this NFL draft without a big offensive piece at 22 overall. I'm not going to be excited like everybody else. This is the same old, same old. If Lamar goes back to Baltimore with Odell, and that's all he's got, this is the same old, same old. And just because he got a big fat contract doesn't make him good in Baltimore. And everyone in Baltimore is going to be so excited. Everyone in Baltimore is going to be so thrilled and excited about this and excited about that. We're back. Lamar Jackson's the best. He got paid like a big dog, so he is a big dog. Lamar Jackson has a new offense he's got to learn. He needs a wide receiver. Odell Beckham Jr. doesn't count. Odell Beckham Jr. doesn't count as a wide receiver one. I hate to break it to you, Lamar. So I hope to God you, Mama Lamar, scheduled in that this number 2 overall is going to be a wide receiver, and if it is, then we have some stuff to talk about. All right, I'll be back a little later. Jack, I'm waiting for you to call in. I don't know if you tried. Try one more time. If you are, I'll wait for you 1 second. I know you wanted to say something, but I agree with Jack. I'm not excited right now until I see them draft this guy. Guys, I'm live every single time news breaks. Every single time news. Look at this thing right here. Live whenever news breaks. I'm live Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. That means tonight at 7 p.m. we go live. Why? We're covering the NFL draft. But instead of going live from 7 p.m. to like 8:30, an hour and a half, hour, 2 hours, whatever we do, we definitely don't. We kind of do what we want every single day, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. It's an hour show. It's a 2-hour show. It's a 3-hour. It just depends. I'm live Thursday, Friday, Saturday for every week mock draft marathons and live drafts. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Tuesday's turning into the Panic Chamber Graveyard Show. Okay, so every Tuesday night moving forward will be the Panic Chamber. Daily uploads on top of all this, but Thursday, Friday, Saturday, mock draft marathon nights, live whenever news breaks, Monday through Friday. I will see you all. Looks like Jack will call in tonight. I will see you all later tonight for the mock draft. For the live 2023 NFL Draft Watch Party. Here's the draft tracker. We're getting ready for it. Get excited. Get ready. I'm ready. You're ready. Let's all rumble into the 7 p.m. show ready to watch one of the most exciting drafts you've ever seen in your life because Bijan Robinson's ready to be sent to the moon, and I'm excited for it. You're excited for it. Let's roll. I'm going to go eat. I'm going to fuel up as whoever said. Go eat, says Jack. All right. Bijan going to 12 to Houston. I don't think Kenny, he's last in there, but you never know. I think he's going in one of those spots we've been talking about right here, bro. Right here. 8, 9, 10. Bijan Rowe. Bijan Rowe is going to end up being true. Bijan Rowe is going to end up being true. Ron Navy dropping a $20 hauler. Can we get some Ron Navy emojis in the chat, please? Ron Navy always helping keep the lights on. I will be highly disappointed if we don't get the Voss call in tonight. I'll message him and hopefully the Voss will call in. Voss, if you're watching right now, call in, bro. Tonight, we need you. See you all in T-minus 1 hour and 5 minutes for the 6 hour straight live stream. Oh, I got to make it rain for Ron Navy because he dropped a $20 holler. Ron Navy! Appreciate you. Be back here, guys, in 1 hour. We're going live. Hit that thumb up button your way out the door. 131 thumbs up. I appreciate that. 133. 154 of you still watching in case I come back. Be back here in 1 hour. We're going live for 6 straight hours. 6 straight hours of live draft coverage begins in 1 hour. Do it live.
Hit that subscribe button if you're new, and wipe your feet at the door.
This man, Jahmyr Gibbs, he looks better than Kamara looked coming out of college, more prepared to become Kamara. Schmitty, did you just say Gibbs was more prepared to become Kamara than Alvin Kamara was prepared to become Kamara? No! People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.
Get burrowed.